Hi again. I am Fathom and I am the founder of Other Fiber Creations. And today, it is a big day for me in real life, real time, when you're seeing the video. But it's a regular everyday day for me right now. If you are new here, welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. My name is Fathom. I am 26 and I run a crochet business, and this is my account for all things that I do crafting wise. The day that you are seeing this go out is the day of the Madison Street Festival. We've been talking about it for months. I'm filming this about 2 weeks prior. I'm doing that because I have this week to work, a market, and then a week to get everything sorted and itinerized and all that stuff. So in reality, this is kind of my final push market prep wise, which is terrifying for me to think about. I've been working on this since May. This is mid-September I'm filming this. So, today's video is going to be another week in my life style video, focused primarily on market prepping. Previous ones we've done I got distracted by making the clowns, which have been a very good seller. You should go view that video here, I believe. I'm so bad at pointing the right direction. We also just did one of a generalized market prepping week in the past, up here. This week's, I have an idea in mind, which I had one last time and that didn't work, but I'm going to try and describe it to you before we get started. So, today I'm starting on a Thursday, which means you're going Thursday to Thursday. Excellent. On not this Saturday you're going to see, but the Saturday after this video ends, I am selling at a plant sale at the Botanical Gardens here in Huntsville. For that market, I was requested to make some botanical garden inspired plushies. They wanted some plants, maybe some animals like bees or butterflies or snails. Just general planty vibes. I want to make some of those things and have them done. I also have a giant pile of whips, works in progress, that I have been slowly working my way through. And so the goal is that I'm going to finish some of these each day. These first couple of days are going to be kind of hitting as hard as I can because I'm going to have the apartment to myself starting tomorrow into Sunday. I'm going to focus in on sewing up a project every day and then crocheting something, whether it's mushroom boys like I have sitting in front of me, I have the caps already made, or making some extra plants, or working on the new design I've been working on writing. But yeah, we are starting today at 8:19 a.m. I'm going to hand it over to VoiceOver Fathom, and I am going to get started in earnest. Pew, pew, pew. For day one, I started off by sewing together a clown baby that I've had in my work in progress pile for way too long. It was a color combination suggested in my comment section that I had just repeatedly been putting off finishing, despite having every single piece already made for it. So, I sat down, I bit the bullet, and got her done. After that, I was getting ready to start my next task of the day when the door had a knock on it and I realized my grocery order had arrived. Since I'm unable to drive due to my disabilities, I ordered some groceries in that would be easy for me to make for myself meal-wise for the next couple of days since I was set to be home alone over the weekend. After I got all the groceries put away, I got to work completing another set of projects that have been sitting in the work in progress pile. The Party Shroom Lads. I make them with Premier Parfait XL and Premier Parfait XL Palm Party. That yarn is a mouthful. I promise I'm not sponsored when I say this, but I love the way this yarn works up and the way it looks like the plushie's been out partying all night long with the tinsel and the bits of color. I could live for the yarn not shedding everywhere as much as it does, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do for good art. I managed to complete those little guys in a couple hours' time, so then I settled in with a simplistic project to work on during my therapy session. Plant pots. I have this upcoming plant sale I'm going to be selling at that'll take place at the Botanical Gardens here in Huntsville. so I've been slowly adding some garden-inspired inventory to my collection. It was only after finishing the first plant pot that I realized that I, in fact, did not have therapy on this day. It had been canceled for the week, and I had forgotten I had been told this. I decided to make the most of it anyways, and continued to make more plant pots and plants proper to put in them. I also decided that, every time I complete a plant, I'll make a leggy frog in the same green color I used for the leaves. I was starting to run low on both things, so I might as well restock 2 things at once. Using this back and forth method, I managed to complete 1 whole plant, 2 more plant pots, and 1.5 leggy frogs. I decided to end my workday around 6 p.m., which meant that the rest of the night was mine to do with as I pleased. I ended up sitting and coloring for a bit, which is one of the many hobbies I flutter between day to day to keep things interesting. I did spend a little bit considering getting some more coloring books for my collection, and then reminded myself that buying the books will not bring me the joy that I am seeking from the act of coloring, so I avoided impulse buying more things I don't need, and my entire bookshelf of coloring books thanked me. Instead, my reward was that I finished 3 whole coloring pages. All in all, day 1 was a rousing success. I woke up bright and early on day 2 of this work week, which is a good thing, considering how much I had planned to get done during this day. Off the bat, I decided to work on a sunflower vest using a modified and sized up version of Earth Trick's paid pattern for a sunflower vest. I've made this vest a few times before on this channel, so, luckily, I had already written down the modifications I would need to make it fit better, since the original pattern runs a little bit small for my taste. Between rows, I began filling out my LARP forms. After every game, they have you fill out a couple of forms to tell them how game was, if you're spending any experience points to level up skills, to tell them what your character's going to do between games, and so on. I usually save my forms until the Friday after any given game, since I want to give people time to check if they want to hang out with my character, since my character is built to give benefits when they do hang out. After I finished all the forms, I got to work on the biggest task of the day: inventory reconciliation. If you're wondering what that is, let me attempt to explain. Inventory reconciliation is the term used by businesses to describe the process of going through all of your inventory and comparing it to what you have on record digitally. For me, that's individually going item by item that I've made and comparing it to my square list on my computer to see if the inventory numbers match up. Since I make mostly unique items, this process is a behemoth when I get behind on it, which at this point, I most definitely had. My first bin to go through was the basket filler bin. This includes my best-selling baby dragons. If you want to make one yourself, the pattern's available in multiple places in the description. It also includes baby whales, cube kittens, baby leggy frogs, flexagon fidget toys, coasters, scrunchies, keychains, hairpins, clown babies, and probably a lot more I'm forgetting. Each item has to be sorted out by the kind of item it is, and then by the color of the item to get an accurate count to reflect on my website. The process is a long, tedious slog that left me feeling a bit mentally drained, but luckily, there were some interesting moments that broke up the monotony. First off, I realized I had forgotten to finish editing the video that was set to go live the next day. If you saw my most recent Lotus Vest video, then that was the result of a lot of last-minute editing and corrections on my end. I paused my inventory reconciliation to get that started, only to have to pause that when a package arrived at my door. It was my newest release of pins and stickers. It wasn't quite what I expected, however. Excellent. Okay. I am talking, even though this probably won't be in the actual video, because I want to, and I want to share, and everyone's busy, so I'm sharing with you. Well, this box is stiff. Okay. Lots of plastic, which I expected. This is packed so poorly. Okay. Okay, up it goes. Let's look at these things. Oh, wait. I hate how they tape these bags. Oh. Are these smaller than the last ones? I think these ones are smaller. Oh. Look at the alien. Okay. And then... I love that. Okay. Those are so cute. Now here's the part I'm scared about. What is this packing? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Ooh. It's heavy. Love that for me. Okay. Oh, wait. I'm opening up a Pikmin as the example. So, as you saw in that clip, I was super excited for the package to arrive, but things felt a bit off once I got it open in the packaging department. I did recheck the stickers. They are in fact the right size. The design was just taller than the last set, so they look smaller since they're skinnier. As for the pins, I thought the poor packaging was proving to be a problem, since once I got them under the proper lighting, I could see that the face of every single pin looked scratched up. Some scratches were minor and others were drastic. I made a point to get some photos and sent them over to my manufacturers to see if we could rectify the issue, since I had ordered these for the street festival less than 2 weeks away by this point. I had even paid extra in shipping to make sure I'd received them all on time for this event. After the side quests were complete, I got back to my original mission of inventory reconciliation and crocheting the sunflower vest. I worked on the inventory between rows until I finished the vest, then called it for the day. I decided to relax for a bit and get started on a new clown baby based off a TikTok comment before calling it for the night and playing some video games until around 11 o'clock. I woke up on day 3, exhausted. I was determined, though, to conquer what was left of inventory reconciliation alongside all the other daily tasks I had lined up. First on the list of things to do was to determine my crochet task of the day. I decided to make more baby dragons in a particular color that I ended up not having any of when I did inventory reconciliation the day before. Between wings and rows of that, I tackled my first real responsibility of the day, which was writing a YouTube description and adding info cards, which are the little links in the top right corner of stuff that leads you to other videos. And then I discovered that my iPad had glitched and messed up the first 20 seconds of the video I had uploaded the day before, which was set to go live in 4 hours at the point of me discovering this. So, I sat down, took a deep breath, corrected the video on my iPad, re-downloaded it, re-uploaded it to YouTube, then redid the work to attach the info cards in the correct places, all to make sure the video would actually go live correctly, uncorrupted, at the time it was meant to. My next task was a more personal one. I wanted to get an idea of how much value my documented inventory was worth in order to remove some of the stress I had been feeling. For months, I've been feeling endlessly underprepared, no matter how much preparation work I did. I wanted to see if looking at the numbers would do some work at showing me that I was more prepared than I thought I was for the street festival. For markets, I have a basic rule of thumb for what's considered prepared. You take your booth fee for the street festival, that's $125 as an example. You multiply it by 10. That is the out-of-this-world dream amount you want to make at an event. The primary goal is to make your booth fee, double it, then quadruple it, but the dream is to somehow make 10 times it. So my dream goal for the festival, selling-wise, is $1,250. That means I need that amount of inventory. You then take that dream number and double it to see how much inventory you should bring to possibly reach that goal. You want your booth to have some variety at the end of the day to keep drawing people in so you keep making sales throughout the day, so you need to have double the amount you dream of making. For this event, for me, that number would be $2,500 of inventory. That's the number you want to have in inventory to make sure you're prepared. For a standard event for me, $30 times 10 is $300, double that is $600 of inventory, just to give you another example. I'll let you hear me discover the amount of inventory value I had firsthand so you can understand my reaction. And finally, 105. Oh my god. Okay. So, if I'm keeping this talking in, I'll explain. This is just what I have on my inventory tracker. I have not finished adding all the new big plushies I've made recently, and I know for a fact all the clothing isn't on here. Currently, inventory-wise, for this street festival, I have available to sell $6,884 worth of inventory. I think I'm good. I've been stressed about making more, but I think I'm okay, and it's just what I want to make now. Thumbs up. Excellent. Oh god, I've been doing a lot more than I realized. With that stress finally off my shoulders, I was ready to tackle the inventory reconciliation once more with new energy. I got to work tackling the bigger plushies, which meant counting them, inputting them digitally, getting photos to edit and upload at a later date, tagging them, and keeping a running list of what products would need descriptions written in the future. Between plushies, I'd continue working on the baby dragons I had started way earlier in the day. I had made 10 pairs of wings, and it was about halfway through the bigger plushies when I got to start on the bodies of the dragons. I know my process probably seems everywhere with how I describe it, but I find that being able to flit from project to project as my mental faculties allow it with my disability stuff makes everything run so much smoother than having to sit and complete one project from start to finish over and over and over again, you know? When I finished the plushies, I sorted out the clothing I've made into already accounted for on the website and not yet accounted for on the website. With the not yet accounted for pile moved into my room for me to sort some other time, I decided, since it was 7 p.m. by this point, I was going to call it a day, and I was going to celebrate by making some puppy chow, or Muddy Buddies? It's a regional name thing, it's weird. It's basically Czech cereal with chocolate, peanut butter, a little bit of vanilla, some butter. You melt it down and you toss it in powdered sugar. I had been craving some chocolatey treats, so I thought that making a large batch to snack on over the next few weeks was well deserved. After that, I took a long shower and got into a cute little lounge set that makes me feel like a put-together adult so I could show you everything we finished on this day. It felt like a crazy one, for sure, but we got through it, and that's what matters. First thing I did after getting up and getting dressed in my comfiest clothing was get on my computer and write the script you're hearing right now up to this point. I hadn't sat down at any point in the past 3 days to write down what we had gotten up to, so I wanted to make a point to do it while it was still fresh in my mind so I didn't miss any details. I hadn't been expecting that it would take me a full hour to write down the script for those 3 days, but I got more done than I could have hoped, so I'll take it. I then spent another hour or so having breakfast and editing the next weekend's video, because I wasn't about to be caught off guard again by some last-minute upload date sneaking up on me and corrupted footage. I had already done part of the work previously, so it was just a matter of finishing things off, adding text where applicable, cutting out silences, all that good stuff. With that crossed off the list, I got back to work making some more baby dragons with the wings I had left over from yesterday's work. Between rows, I got started on some laundry I'd been putting off for days and transferring all the product photos from the last 2 days onto my computer for editing, color correction, and adding to my website. It took a lot of work to get them to where I was happy with them, since I had been kind of just trying to power through, but I eventually got there. And I decided to call it a bit early for the day since I had been working overtime the past few days and wanted to enjoy some valuable alone time recreationally before my roommate got home from his trip. In order to relax, I put in some work on a Whirl Mandala cardigan by Leela Bjorn that had been sitting in my whip pile for weeks at this point. And I spent some time coloring yet another page from my book. I could tell that I had definitely overdone it on the work front once I actually slowed down to check in on myself body-wise, because a pounding migraine kicked in almost instantly as I got comfortable in my bed. I also felt a bit of the same mental fog I get after vending at a long market, so in all honesty, a good portion of my night was spent just sort of staring blankly at my computer screen playing videos. I felt a lot better rested after whatever else I did for the night, so I'll take it. Before I could go to bed, I had one last thing I had to do for the day. I took a call with one of the event coordinators for the upcoming street festival. I had been asking a lot of questions beforehand since my first year selling at an event this large, and they decided to call me to answer all the questions all at once. We also made plans to meet up in person so they could show me where my booth would be set up, in person, so I know how to advise my helpers a bit. With the phone call done, I chilled out for a bit longer and called it a night and got some much needed sleep. Okay, it is Monday morning, 8:12 a.m. Starting my workday a little bit late, and I am facing a dilemma I have not faced in a very long time. So, sorry, I'm just kind of processing aloud, and you're my captive audience. I, for the past 4 months? Yeah, May, so 4 months, have been solely focused on preparing for this street festival coming up. It is in less than 2 weeks as of today. I have been overstocking and prepping and focusing hard on making sure I have enough inventory for this big event, because I'm used to events of like 200 to 300 people max, and this is set to have potentially 40,000 people if projected attendance goes well. I'm gonna assume, like I've been told, when an event gives you projected attendance, expect less than half of that, but that's still over 1,000, which is a lot of people for me. So, I don't have any more preparation that needs to be done. I've made enough stuff that I should be good through the event and then some. I have been solely kind of working these past few months on what do I think will sell at the street market. So with that kind of being out the window, I'm left with the strange dilemma and feeling of, well, what now? I still have another 2 months of markets in my market season after the street festival, so I'm still going to be prepping stuff. But it's not that heated question of, well, what do I make, you know? I plan on doing some website maintenance today. I plan on finishing the plant pots I made on day 1 of this. I put them to the side because I find these are like a nice good project to do during the week versus the weekend is like make whatever I want kind of days. And then it's whatever I feel like doing, which means the next couple of days of this are gonna be kind of weird as I just kind of brainstorm and make what feels fulfilling for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and check my emails, check my social media, and get to work on plant pots, I guess. And then we'll see where this next couple of days takes me. Because I'm kind of stupefied of just, I did it. I don't have to prepare anything else. I'm excited because I still have the passion to make things. But what now? You know? As you can see, I was feeling pretty aimless come the morning of day 5. I knew that I wanted to get as many item descriptions written as possible for my website, so I worked on that. And while writing descriptions, I settled on a true goal for my day: tackle some of the market prep whip pile. This included some plant pots that I showed you, as well as weaving in the ends on some spa sets and assembling the hardware on some hair bows. When I needed a break from writing, I would switch up to uploading and managing my shorts, which I do from my phone. I ended up finishing a great amount of little things throughout the day, but I couldn't shake this feeling of exhaustion and a lasting headache despite powering through it in order to try and accomplish anything. Those feelings, of course, were going to catch up with me hard the next morning. I am in so much pain, it's not even funny. I have on real clothes. I took painkillers about an hour ago, and I don't think they're coming to save me. I had plans for today, but I think that we're going to take a day off from filming. If I feel better, I feel better, but I won't record it. And I will add an extra day onto the end of this week because my hair's a mess, because I just could not be effed to fully try and deal with it. Ooh, that hurt. Okay. Yep. I feel sick to my stomach. Pain happens. Extreme pain definitely happens. And we will check in tomorrow, hopefully, maybe, possibly. Yay, I'll tell you guys tomorrow what I did today and count these 2 days as one day. I need to lay back down and work on a comfort project. Oh my god, words. I'm gonna stay hydrated. This is your reminder that it's okay to have low days, and that's part of the whole process. I'm gonna hydrate, take more painkillers when the time comes, and work on big comforting project versus little projects that are work. Pew pew pew. So it turns out I started my period a week early. I get cramps so bad that I've been taken to the hospital by ambulance before. So when I realize that I'm starting my period, I clear my schedule for the day just to be safe. When I was writing this script, I could totally see all of the hints my body was trying to give me that it was coming early. Like me craving chocolate, the sudden migraines, the exhaustion just catching up with me. I didn't mention it in the video, but I was craving certain kinds of protein. Like, I eat a lot of red meat on my period. I was eating mostly red meat during it. I totally could have seen it coming if I had paid attention, but I was too focused on working to see it coming. That being said, I basically poured a ton of time into the Whirl Mandala shawl that I mentioned I was working on day 4. It took it till about 3 p.m. for the pain to lighten up, and when it did, I went ahead and threw a little bit of extra time into writing website listing descriptions. The next day, the pain was less, but still present, so I did the same work I just described, but on my couch instead of on my bed. As promised, I stayed hydrated and well fed, and made a point to sleep off as much of it as I physically could. On our new final day of the video, I decided that since I've been making plenty of progress on it the past few days anyways, I was going to finish the circle shawl as my final project of the week. I spent the day editing some short form content and getting all the shorts uploaded to YouTube between rows, as well as doing some dishes, some laundry, just general house stuff that isn't that fun to see. All in all, there's not a lot of interesting footage to show you all, but I made a lot of behind the scenes progress and housework progress. So, thumbs up. Good job, Fathom of the past. I appreciate it as future Fathom. All in all, I think I accomplished way more than I set out to. Sometimes I fail as a perfectionist to give myself credit for the amount of back-end work that I'm putting in because it isn't interesting enough to show online to people. I think that because we live curated lives when it comes to social media, we will always see ourselves as falling behind, no matter how much work we put in, because it doesn't make a cool video. Making videos like this one help me to document and see and conceptualize just how much I accomplish when I'm not focused on being the most engaging person ever. Instead, I just be transparent about what I've accomplished day to day. It's something I wish we could all value more in the online space, you know? And that was my week. Woo! I am very tired. The pain is past for the most part. Like, there's still a little bit of residual pain, but I'm free from that, luckily. Yay. I think that I did a great job. I went in thinking at most I'd do an inventory recount, and I got a bunch of photos, wrote a bunch of descriptions, made some stuff. All in all, I'm feeling pretty good. It feels very unreal that this market I've been working for months is literally a week away from when I'm ending filming this, and has already happened when you're seeing this. I don't know what to say. I've been working towards it for so long, kind of like a sole focus, just because I love to have a goal. I am somebody who, if I don't have a goal, I struggle to do a thing. When I play a video game, it's not like play the game for fun. It's play the game to achieve X achievement, because the achievement is the fun part for me. I'm a go-getter. Ooh, get 'em. But now I gotta figure out new goals. I've been working on some fun things, like the circle shawl you saw, and I started this last night, and I did a lot because I'm crazy. So after a full work day, I also started on another cowl because they're fun. And I guess my current goal is to make good content for you all, so hopefully this achieved that goal. Yay! If you like this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. If you're going to do one of those three things, make it subscribing so you can see all the other interesting goals I achieve. If you want to support me other ways, you can get my patterns and stickers on Etsy, my patterns on Ribbler, or anything I make, crochet, pattern, sticker, soon to be there pins, on my website, which is also the cheapest prices if you go to my website. Today's question of the day is, what do you think was the most productive thing I did? I just watched a light go out in my hallway. Weird. What's the most productive thing I did? Was it getting the photos taken? Was it taking the inventory? Was it doing the numbers? Let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna go sit and work on finishing this cowl, because I also have a market at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. which means that I have to be up at like 6. So I'm gonna take some me time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.